All right, welcome again for the third step. And so we've done the head, we've done the ears. Now we're going to come down here to our chest. And what I want to do is I want to start out our first row, just like we did up here with this row as we went all the way across. I don't want to start right at the top by the head because we have the nose that comes kind of in the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down below the nose. We don't want to touch it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a V. All right. Now that V, okay, it's small and it's about the length of one of these lines up here. Okay. Now, why do we make a V? Well, our rows on our chest are going to be angled coming down this way and then angles coming down this way. So basically they're going to copy the V. So what I do to start, and I'll start going this way, is I'm going to try to make a straight row with angled lines. So that's why I turned my paper, and I'm going to try to make a row with those angled lines. Okay. Then for me, I'm going to turn it this way, because now I'm going to try to make a row going with angled lines here. And if this is kind of hard for you to do, what I should have done with this first, okay, is if you take a pencil lightly, very light, we're going to make rows. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and I want you to see my rows. These rows are going to help me even when I'm doing this. And these lines need to be light. Okay. So now that I have these lines on there, in the start of every line, right underneath the V shape here, I'm going to make another V shape. Okay. Now all of my lines are going to go to the top of that pencil line to the bottom of the pencil line. See how they're touching the pencil lines? And now I'm going to make those angled lines because I know that it is kind of difficult to make angled or slanted lines. And we can make a little smaller V inside of those. Okay. And so here we would just have a little itty bitty V, and then I like to start away from the nose. Okay. And I'm going to have I'm going to have to make these ones longer. All right. Either way. And then we come with those angled like that. And then I'm going to do another row. I'm not starting with a V. Just want to make sure I have slants. And so those pencil line rows really help you kind of keep it all going straight out. So then when you do this last row, if you have a last row like that, make sure you don't go inside of the eye section. All right, so for ones on this side, we make slants, slanted lines, going the other way. So I'm going to zoom out, and then you can kind of see me do the rest of this. Once we go down below and we're not up close to the face, remember every time we start a row, we want to start with a V, and then we can put a small V inside of it. So then that means that we go an angle this way, all the way to the edge. And then again, I turn my paper, and now we do a V angle going the other direction. And my row here got really big, so these lines have to get longer. This is really good practice, trying to keep a direction. Again, turning it, making that slant. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm just going to continue working. You can work with me at the same time. Just make sure that before you start each row, you put that V shape, and make sure that you're looking up every once in a while to make sure you're doing the right thing. And I have 2 more rows. Sometimes when I'm making lines, I'll have too big of a space, so then I always go right back and put one in the middle. All right, everyone. So I am all done. If you are not, you're going to get right back to work in just a sec. I want to point out one little area. So right here, I have a lot of space in between those lines. There's kind of like a weird white space. I can come back and try to make those lines longer. And so that's something that you can do if you have a space like that. You could also add a little mini row if you need to, depending on how big your space is. right? Then after you are all done, we added those pencil lines. So you might want to take your eraser when you're all done and gently erase those lines so that we don't see them. Hopefully you didn't push very hard. And if you did, that's fine. Okay. And when you're all done, it'll look like this with straight lines in the top of the head, angled lines, even though they are straight if you turn it like this, but angle lines coming from the points down, and then a angle line because a lot of their hair kind of grows towards their chest and the chest. Nice white opening area here and up in the ears as well. So nice job. Keep working if you're not done, and hope yours turns out. Thank you. Bye.